European finance ministers meeting in Poland, sticking to their guns, saying that they believe the commercial banks have enough capital to ride out all the turmoil. Our next guest says the probability of a Greek default is very high, but he adds it's unlikely to happen anytime soon. Thanos Papasavvas, he is fixed income and currency strategist at Investec Asset Management, joins us now from London. So it won't happen, a Greek default, you say, until next summer. Why is that?
No, we believe that the risk of a Greek default is likely to occur once the EFSF has been passed through the national governments, once the package which had been agreed on the 21st of July has passed through. That gives an opportunity to the policymakers to have in place the appropriate ring-fencing mechanisms in order to stop the contagion from spreading. So the risk of Greek defaulting is probably in the new year rather than this side of year-end.
All right, so that gives governments and policymakers as well as investors about 10 months to prepare until next July. Is that enough time? How do you see things shaking out from here on out?
No, we believe that the measures of the 21st of July of this year have to be passed through over the next month. Once we pass that through, then clearly the overall ring fencing would be appropriate. We would be able to deal with the FSF to buy the relevant bonds, and it gives some time for the policymakers to be ready for the risk of a Greek default.
Once again, since you cover fixed income and currencies, what's notable here is that the credit default swap market is pricing in 98% odds of Greece defaulting over the next 5 years. The euro is weaker versus the dollar and the yen today, but on the whole, it's been fairly resilient. And a lot of people are saying they believe policymakers will do what they need to do to make sure that it keeps the currency is kept intact. What does this current crop of leaders need to do to go beyond that, meet the minimum bar of expectations?
I think what we need to see is clearly some move towards some fiscal consolidation. What we have learned from this crisis over the last 18 months is that the euro, as it stands, with simply a single currency and monetary union, is not sufficient to take this project to total fruition. So we need to move towards closer fiscal consolidation. It's something which has been discussed more recently. Both the Dutch finance and prime minister, Mr. Trichet, even Mr. Weber discussed it. So we are expecting to see some sort of a finance ministry or treasury being prepared over the next few quarters, and for the various countries to be given that as an option. Alongside that, however, we would also expect to see a change in the treaty and a voting in the treaty for members to choose to join.
You mentioned Mr. Trichet. He is the outgoing ECB president. Mario Draghi will be coming in as the next ECB president. What can we expect from him in terms of direction and how to guide the various finance ministers along in closer fiscal unity?
Very good question. The issue has been that since May 2010, Mr. Trichet has been in a very unfortunate position, which was being placed by the finance minister as far as the ECB is concerned, to help prop up the market and providing this liquidity. It is not the ECB's role to do that, and certainly one of the things Mr. Draghi would want to do once he gets the leadership is to try and distance the ECB from that. However, in order for that to happen, we need to have the relevant organizations in place, such as the EFSF, in order to deal with the fiscal issues. The government and the finance minister should be dealing with that, maintaining the independence of the ECB to deal with the price stability.
All right. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thanos Papasavvas of Fixed Income and Currency Strategist joining us from London.